The clang of that heavy steel door is the last sound you will hear for a long time. You are sealed, not safe. Sealed. That distinction is crucial for survival. 12 hours is the biological tipping point in a compromised shelter. After that, panic takes over, or the CO2 does. Forget the movies. Forget the reinforced concrete. Your enemy isn't the radiation outside or the mob that sealed you in. Your enemy is the air you are currently inhaling. It is finite. It is degrading. Welcome to the first minute of your new reality. Hour 1, the inventory of despair. Do not sit down. Do not mourn the outside world yet. Your brain needs oxygen, not grief. Stand up. Move slowly. Efficiency is worship now. Your first task, quantifying the failure points. This bunker was designed by someone with an ego. All bunkers are. They rely on systems. Systems fail. First, locate the air scrubbers. Are they working? Do not trust the indicator light. Indicator lights lie. Feel the exhaust vent for heat. If it's cold, you're breathing recycled poison. If it's hot, you are wasting precious energy. Next, the sealing integrity. The primary door seal is obvious. But what about the conduits? Utility access points? Every forgotten pipe chase is a potential leak of atmosphere, or worse, contaminants. Seal every visible crack with anything you have. Old insulation, grease, even chewed-up plastic if necessary. This isn't about keeping the outside out. It's about keeping the good air in. Here is the thing about high IQ survival. It requires ditching the romantic notion of resilience. Survival is trigonometry and thermodynamics. In a sealed environment, you are fighting two invisible killers, carbon dioxide and humidity. Hour 2, the CO2 equation. Panic increases your respiratory rate. It speeds up the consumption of O2 and the production of CO2. High CO2 is a narcotic. It makes you sluggish, irrational, and eventually terminal. How do you measure it without a meter? Low-tech, high IQ method, the fire test. If this bunker provides nothing else, it should offer a candle or a lighter for pilot lighting. Light it, hold it low to the ground. If the flame sputters and dies near the floor, CO2 concentration is critical. CO2 sinks. If it burns strong, you have a few hours of grace. If it burns weakly, you must ration movement immediately. This bunker, sealed and forgotten, holds documents. Forbidden documents. They aren't schematics for a better world. They are the records of why the last crew failed. We will get to those, but first, we must earn the right to read them. Hour 3, humidity and condensation. Your body releases roughly a quart of water vapor every day, just through breathing and sweating. In a sealed steel box, that humidity has nowhere to go. High humidity causes hypothermia at higher temperatures because it defeats your body's cooling mechanism. It also rusts the infrastructure that is supposed to save you. Find the coldest surface in the bunker, usually a ventilation pipe or a distant wall section. This is where condensation forms. That is water, pure distilled water. It's a slow, agonizing drip, but it's life. Collect every drop. Use a clean metal tray or even a large sheet of plastic scavenged from packaging. Do not drink anything stored in the bunker without forensic analysis first. Sealed water bottles degrade over years. Plastic leaches chemicals. That beautiful blue liquid might be an endocrine disruptor. Stick to condensate. It requires patience. Hour 4, psychological rigidity. The silence is the hardest weapon to fight. Absolute crushing silence. It leads to auditory hallucinations. It leads to paranoia. You need routine. Establish an internal schedule immediately. Designate specific hours for work, rest, and exploration. Do not deviate. Your mind will start inventing sounds, scraping outside, whispers in the corners. That is your brain starving for input. Ignore it. If you must talk, talk out loud, but only to describe the facts of your situation. The pressure gauge reads X. The air tastes stale, but the flame burns steady. This is self-therapy through empirical reporting. It keeps the facts anchored. This is when you start inventorying potential tools. Every piece of junk is a tool. Is there a broken pipe? That is a weapon or a digging tool. Is there old wiring? That is cordage. Is there battery acid leaking? That is a potential fire starter. See the bunker not as a refuge, but as a junkyard of opportunity. Hour 5. The Forbidden Archives. Now we earn the right to read the records. These are often stored in a sealed metal cabinet, usually near the comms room. They are classified not because of state secrets, but because they reveal incompetence. Pull them out. Read the maintenance log first. Look for entries about system malfunctions that were noted but never fixed. Ventilation motor B intermittent. Door seal 3 showing stress fractures. These are your critical structural weak points. If you need to dig your way out, those documents tell you where to start hammering. But the true forbidden documents are the psychological profiles. Bunkers were rarely staffed by idealists. They were staffed by whomever the government could coerce or forget about. Look for the notation marked POTCH P-factor assessments. P-factor stands for paranoia factor. These notes detail which previous occupants were prone to hoarding, violence, or catastrophic failure under pressure. Why does this matter to you? Because sometimes bunkers are sealed with bodies inside, and you need to know where the last point of conflict was. Hour 6. Scavenging for fuel. Midway through the clock, your energy reserves are dropping. Food is not fuel in the short term. Focus on caloric density. If there is MRE packaging, use the heating packets. Do not eat the MRE itself unless absolutely necessary. They cause severe dehydration, which you cannot afford to manage right now. Look for dissecants and chemical stabilizers, often found in large shipping crates. Some dissecants, like silica gel, are harmless if processed, but useless. Others, like calcium oxide, can be heated with water for a small localized heat source. Dangerous, but necessary if the temperature drops. Your internal furnace, your core temperature, must be maintained. Use every scrap of fabric you find as insulation. Layering is mandatory. Even if the bunker feels warm, the stagnant air is deceitful. The walls bleed heat from you constantly. Hour 7. Dealing with waste. This is the unpleasant truth of confinement. Human waste is a biohazard. It consumes O2 and releases methane and other decomposition gases. If you can't expel waste outside the sealed area, which you can't, you must contain it. Seal it in the heaviest plastic bags you can find. Designate one corner, preferably near a defunct vent, as the sanitation zone. Use lime or ash if available to stabilize the waste. This is not optional. Infection and airborne pathogens thrive in static warm air. Hour 8. Structural analysis. Examine the ceiling, not for comfort but for physics. Is there stress cracking near load-bearing beams? In a long-term disaster scenario, ground pressure shifts. Old bunkers are especially vulnerable to tectonic settling. Listen for the subtle groans. A single sustained creak is noise. A rapid, multiple popping sound means shear stress. If you hear popping, move to the center of the structure, away from walls. Your reading of the forbidden documents should reveal the engineering flaws. Did they skimp on rebar? Did they use substandard concrete mix? Assume the cheapest, most corrupt solution was implemented. This knowledge is your blueprint for escape or your warning for collapse. Hour 9. Managing the light. If you have battery-powered light, ration it ruthlessly. Use it only for specific tasks. Reading maps, checking seals. Spend the rest of the time in low light or darkness. This conserves battery power, but more importantly, it conserves your psychological reserves. Full darkness forces your mind to focus internally. If you use light constantly, the moment it fails, true panic sets in. Learn to navigate by feel. Memorize the precise number of steps between crucial points: water collection, archive, sleeping area. Your body must become a human GPS unit. Hour 10, the pressure drop. Feel the pressure in your ears. Sealed bunkers are designed to withstand external pressure. But what about internal pressure changes due to temperature fluctuation? If the air scrubbers fail completely, the pressure will drop slowly as the O2 is consumed. This drop is subtle. It leads to dizziness and bleeding from the nose or gums. It mimics altitude sickness. If you have any form of pressure gauge, even a makeshift one involving a sealed bottle and a balloon, monitor it. This is your final quantifiable metric for systemic failure. If the internal pressure plummets, your exit plan must activate. Hour 11, final preparations. Review the 12 hours, air conserved, water collected, mind anchored. Now prepare your escape kit. Even if you cannot escape physically, preparing for it is mandatory. It gives purpose to the last hour. Your kit includes your water condensate, any dense caloric scrap, and the tools you identified, the broken pipe, the cordage, the map of weaknesses from the forbidden documents. Anything that reduces friction or enhances leverage is gold. Do not carry sentimentality. If the documents showed a specific section prone to dampness or structural failure, that is your target. Use the water pressure from a broken pipe or a stored fire extinguisher if available to exploit the weakest point. Water is surprisingly effective at turning minor cracks into major fractures, especially in old concrete. Hour 12, the threshold. You have survived the tipping point. The initial shock is over. You understand the physics of your cage. Listen closely to the outside world. Did the silence break? Did the air quality shift, indicating a breach, either inward or outward? Do not act on hope. Act on empirical evidence. If you are breaking out, move with controlled violence, no hesitation. Use the paranoia factor from the old documents to anticipate the external threat. If the last inhabitants killed each other, assume anyone outside is equally desperate. If you are rescued, do not trust the rescuers immediately. Prioritize oxygen and safety before conversation. If you are breaking out yourself, your bunker-born cynicism is your armor. Congratulations! You outsmarted the systems designer, the carbon monoxide, and your own panic. That steel door may have sealed you in, but it failed to crush your intellect. Welcome to the new world. You survived the first round. Now the real game begins.